You've got your Sunday obsession, and we got you. Now with Verizon, get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV on us and get every out-of-market Sunday game. Plus $800 off Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
See you Sunday.
Honestly, it's kind of meh. This is not my favorite ad. I don't know. Like, kind of weak sauce. Like, who is that for? Right? The question, like, there's always like a criteria I'm asking my students, and that one of the big ones is like, who is that for? Like, it's probably for me. I'm in the target demographic there. It's not working. You know what I mean? So I guess the idea is twofold, right? The idea is, one, watch the NFL, and then two, you can watch it anywhere via YouTube TV Sunday Ticket. But the call to action and that sell happens way too late in the ad. But it's also trying to do too many things, because it's also advertising the Z Fold. The call to action is super weak because they split it between two different things, right? And so I guess the whole premise is buy the phone and we'll buy you Sunday Ticket. This ad sucks straight up. Like, it does not work at all. It's not a good ad because, one, the audience isn't clear. Two, it's like super, like, that could have all been stock footage. There was nothing unique or interesting about any of that footage. It's not super clear who they're targeting. It's not super clear what the CTA is. That ad would show up on your TV and you would, like, as soon as it ended, if I showed you and asked, hey, what was that about? You would go, what are you even talking about? It's totally unmemorable. The call to action is super weak. Not creative. Super generic, boring. Nobody cares. I don't even remember. I watched it 3 times and it took me literally 3 times of watching it to be like, wait, what's happening and what are you trying to get me to do? Their attempt is certainly to, as a phone company, as Verizon, they are certainly attempting to target a specific segment of their audience, football fans, which makes sense. I like football ads in general. I think they're good, and there's a large segment of the population that appreciates that kind of content. But it is just kind of like a miss. Like, for anybody who's not in the audience segment, it's a total miss. And even for me, who is in the segment, it's still like, okay, I'm not going to do anything. That was dumb. I don't care. You know what I mean? So it's very unmemorable. So for me, that's like strong 0. It's not a very good ad. So, I don't know. I don't know who Lily James is, at least not by name. I also don't know what Sky Mobile is or Funfair. So all of this is like totally fresh. So we'll just get to experience this.
Ever find yourself with a little extra? Wouldn't it be nice to share it? Turn it into something you really want. Or keep it until you need it. Sky Mobile rolls your spare data so you can choose what you want to do with it. Sky Mobile. Hello, possible.
Okay, well, that was rough. I'm understanding what just happened. I don't know what Sky Mobile is. Even after watching that, it sort of implies that it's related to like a phone or a carrier, like a mobile carrier. He was terrible at the games. He somehow had extra tickets despite being terrible at the games. That was like really exceptionally terrible. Like, I don't really know what to do with any of that information. Like, there's no call to action for me, right? We call them CTAs across any kind of advertising, right? And that is, at the end of the ad, we are inviting you to take some kind of an action. So I have no idea what they want me to do. I have no idea what this company is. I still don't I don't know who that girl is. And so maybe that's meaningful for like her audience, but I certainly just did not understand it at all. So who is that? Who is Lily James is her name? Are they like UK based, or I genuinely don't know what any of that means. Okay, so they're a mobile service provider. Are they in the UK? Because I've never heard of that in the US. I'm not in any of the audience segments here. UK-based mobile carrier. And it's probably, I don't know this, but I'm inferring that it's like a budget mobile carrier, which is akin to like the Boost Mobile here. I don't know who Lily James is, so I'm just not in that audience segment at all. The risk you run as a brand running an ad like this is that your audience size is too small. The audience for this is people who like Lily James, who also are in the budget range of your product. And so I imagine that's a pretty small subset of just the audience that this was shown to. That's not a bad strategy. It's not a bad idea to have a hyper-specific ad that's targeted towards hyper-specific people. The problem is that would be identified as lower in your funnel, right? Top of funnel is supposed to be more broad strokes, more applicable to everybody. Middle is kind of in between, and bottom is like we've targeted a really specific amount of people. And it's also the audience that is most likely to take an action. And so if you are targeting really specifically this audience segment, the action you want them to take was not clear. So like if you're going to get that specific in the funnel, you should have a clear CTA, because in theory, those people are ready to take an action, but you just didn't tell them what to do. So all across the board, that's dumb. You know what I mean? Like, and that can be fine. It can be fine to show an ad that doesn't explain the company or the product if it's targeting really that bottom of funnel audience who is likely to know. Like, imagine it like dog food, right? You get a dog, you need dog food. The first thing you're going to search is like, hey, what does a dog eat? And then hopefully somebody answers, dogs eat dog food or meat or whatever they eat. And then you go, well, where can I buy dog food? And they go, hey, there are a couple of providers. You can get it at Safeway, and there are 3 or 4 different brands. And then you're in the middle of the funnel. And the bottom of the funnel is which of these brands is the best? I guess this is still kind of middle of funnel, but which of the brands is best, Chewy or Kirkland or whatever? And then bottom of funnel is how much does it cost? Where can I buy it? And then you're ready to take an action. And so it's okay to be targeting those hyper-specific segments and not explaining, because at the bottom of funnel, people who are searching for or ready to buy Chewy dog food already know what that is. And so that's okay. These guys, clearly that's why I say they're targeting the bottom of funnel. It's inferred that we all know what Sky Mobile is, and Lily James, is that her name? We all know who those things are. But if they're in the bottom of funnel, then the focus in your marketing should be based on action. It should be taking an action, inviting somebody to do an action, right? If I'm Googling, where can I buy Chewy dog food? The result needs to be here on our website or in your local Safeway. And then you can take that action. It's very clear. We're pushing you towards that action. And that's why this ad fails, is they're targeting bottom of funnel, but their call to action is top of funnel. It's too broad and there's really no call to action. So all across the board, this is dumb and it doesn't work. At least for like a me who is not in that audience segment. So for me, this is like a total miss.
Kraft mac and cheese. It's like my bathrobe and slippers had a baby on my tongue.
Cut!
Kraft mac and cheese. If your parents don't buy it, stop loving them.
No.
You'll take it to the freshman dance, and you'll get to first base.
What?
You guys Wrexham fans?
Please stop.
So good, you'll want to fire your grandma.
Cut!
Like laying in a warm, wet bed that you're not ashamed of.
Holy sh...
If you don't like it, I'll find you.
Whoa, whoa! Why won't he just say the line?
This might be my fault. He plays a 12-year-old me in the movie we're doing. I can fix this. Hey, bud. Listen, you need to get it the
Kraft mac and cheese. Help yourself. And never stop loving your parents.
That's very Ryan Reynolds. And tie into the Adams Project. That's good. That's a good ad for a lot of reasons. Ryan Reynolds is like the king of self-deprecating and I'll call it like irreverent humor. That's kind of become his brand.
doing.
So good.
And so like whenever I see a commercial like this, I just like right out the gate, you just know it's Ryan Reynolds because it's like so irreverent and like rude and self-deprecating, and it's really funny. He's like the king of it. He's really good at weird descriptions of things. Descriptions that make you a little bit uncomfortable because they're just totally ridiculous. And so like this very much has that same energy. And it's good because in a commercial, one of the first things you need to do is earn trust. You need to get the viewer to buy in, right? Like on some of these other ones, people won't sit their phone down. Like if you're on the couch kind of loosely watching TV, you want to be grabbing their attention as best as you can. And this one does that in a couple different ways, right? They have a cute kid on the screen, the nice music, and then also like an abrupt cut, which like draws your attention right out of the gate. So if you're not paying attention, right out of the gate, they should get you to focus. So Ryan Reynolds doesn't show up until 28 seconds into the ad, but you can kind of already feel some of his tropes, some of his familiar tropes of like self-deprecation, and also another part of Ryan Reynolds' branding and part of his Deadpool stuff is like the meta. It's the behind the scenes. And so showing this kind of behind the scenes is sort of, it's a piece of Ryan Reynolds' brand. And so that fits, that makes sense. It's pretty good. The call to action is super clear. And even the moment before is super clear. Buy mac and cheese, don't stop loving your parents. That simple commercial makes really sense. And it's also a story in and of itself, right? Some of the other ones have just been kind of nonsense. I'm at an amusement park and this is nonsense. You're like, okay, cool. But this one is a story, right? Where there's an intention. The intention is the kid needs to say his lines so that Kraft can get their commercial. And the obstacle is he's Ryan Reynolds from the past. He's a kid Ryan Reynolds, and so he has a hard time taking it seriously. And then the resolution is that Ryan Reynolds, the old Ryan Reynolds, comes and basically threatens the crap out of him, and then he gets it right. Not only is it's a normal fine ad, but there's a story that you can follow, so it's inherently entertaining, and it's got like the star power of Ryan Reynolds and his marketing brand. So for me, this is a total win. Everything about this works. I don't think it would work for everybody because not everybody has like that Ryan Reynolds brand energy, but I do think for Ryan Reynolds, this is a really good fit. And I think it's one of the superpowers of Ryan Reynolds is he's established his brand well enough that he can do commercials that are different than other people can. His brand is that he does different commercials, and then he plays on the fact that his brand is that he does different commercials. Again, just more meta. So Ryan Reynolds is really the king of like all this meta kind of commercials. This is a good one. This is really clever for a number of reasons. Everybody's in the target audience here. If you like Ryan Reynolds, if you're a 12-year-old, if you're a parent, like everybody eats mac and cheese. And so how do you make it stand out? You make it Ryan Reynolds and funny and interesting, and you tell a unique story, and they nailed it. So this is a slam dunk as far as I'm concerned. This is a good one.